Hi all, this is Skate, and my god, I'm so happy to be making a video. It's been ages. And I'd like to pretend I've been living the extravagant high life or some nonsense like that, but no, I've just been absolutely manic with work. Selling one of my cars, which meant I had to repair all the little bits on it, but after repairing all the little bits on it, I then wanted to keep it. I got a new car. I've had all the walls plastered downstairs in the house, which meant obviously helping with the plastering, and then they got to be coated and then painted. In other words, I've just been flat out busy. And as per usual, I am backlogged on my videos. But I really missed making them. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to start with an E-100. And there's the side of a Foch, so HE damage roll. And that is just one of a few reasons why the E-100, in my opinion, will remain one of the best heavy tanks in-game. Now, I made a guide on the E-100, and if you haven't seen it, it's very in-depth, covers everything you need to know on the E-100, I think. But being as I had the footage, being as I like the tank, and being as these games are slightly amusing, I thought I would make this video. Now, to quickly change topic to the IS-7, I think the IS-7 is probably the most user-friendly in terms of armor, etc, etc. I think this is probably one of the most versatile heavy tanks, and I think it's bloody brilliant. Now, you don't have as reliable armor profile as an IS-7. IS-7, yeah, you could rock around a corner and get some really amusing bounces. But the E-100, it relies solely on the ability to angle correctly. It's a box at the end of the day, and when you point the box straight, the armor is not angled, but yet you point your box at an angle, and voila, you have very, very thick, very effective, very easy to angle armor. So yeah, it may rely on that armor being angled, but because of its shape, I think it's very easy to angle. And it's a monster side scraper. Combine that with the fact that this thing is just old school. It's one of the originals, and it's a fan favourite. Granted, not as much as the IS-7, but the E-100's a bit unique, especially when you're looking at its gun on a tier 10 heavy tank. And the next 30 seconds of this battle pretty much sum up for me why the E-100 is so much fun and so good. So, we're going to take a shot coming up over that hill, but we're going to completely ignore the E-100, we're going to ram him, we're going to load some HE, and we're going to put it into the side of the Leo. That, to me, pretty much sums up what I like about the E-100. She's chunky. On top of that, that 150mm gun is just so versatile. I mean, HE close range, AP long range. But it's 150mm. Now, the 150mm, you don't get HE like that on any other tier 10 heavy tank. 960 alpha damage. That's with 85mm of HE penetration. And then you've got the AP with its 640 alpha, which is a hell of a chunk of alpha for a tier 10 heavy, with its 258mm of penetration. And then just in case that's not enough, you've got 550 alpha on a big old heat shell with 334mm of penetration. In other words, I think that gun is ridiculously versatile, ridiculously workable and usable. I mean, oh look, there's an IS-7 hull down. What should we do? Can't penetrate it because there's only his gun poking through. I know, I'll launch a HE shell at the top of his tank. I'll still do 300 plus damage and annoy the hell out of him. And that makes the HE very workable, because it's not just lightly armoured tanks. If someone knows how to hull down their tank properly, you can still annoy them and still do damage. You could spend 5 seconds trying to look for that perfect shot. Instead, just smash a HE shell into them. It works. Or, if they're showing too much of their tank, use one of those heat shells. You still got 550 alpha on a heat shell. And then, with its buffed 258mm of penetration, it's more than reliable with the AP nowadays. Now, I fired an AP shell at a grill. No idea why. Watching that back, idiot move, I should have just launched a HE shell. And I did get penetrated by him, but I did do damage to him at least. Which is why I put myself in a side-scraping position straight away. And the enemy E-75 is not. He's poking out, waiting to take a shot on me. And As soon as he does it, first time bounce, second time absorbed by the track, but it means I've got perfect opportunity to pop out, make a big old hole in whatever tank is in front of me, and get back into cover and be in a very safe position. And then you just wait. They can see the side of my tank, wait until they take their shot, and then reverse. And then put a big old chunky hole back into the front of them again. And this is where I actually think, hands down, the E-100 is better than the IS-7, holding corners. IS-7's fantastic, but when you're just on a corner and you can side scrape so well in this sort of position, you can just put a big chunky hole in things, get back into cover, wait for your reload, get back out. In that circumstance, you're trading. And you're trading shot for shot, not damage per minute. Damage per minute at that point in time goes completely out of the window. Granted, if it was a DPM or some medium came to play bully onto the rear end of my tank, he's probably going to win. But if I can angle correctly while he's trying to do so, I'm going to bounce an awful lot of his shots while putting some big, nasty shells into him. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to catch him correctly with a HE shell and do a lot more damage. Even if you can't, at least you're doing track damage. You slow him down enough so you can get your armor angled correctly. As I mentioned earlier, I have already got a video on the E-100 where I go into a lot more depth on the armor, how I angle the turret, or how I try to angle the turret, how I try to angle the hull, distance from targets to hide lower plate, so on and so forth. So I'm not really going to delve into it too much in this video. But based on that stupid move by me, what we can say is don't pop out with multiple targets pointing at you. And that is, again, a downside to the E-100. I mean, you're a box. You angle your box against what's shooting at you in front. Fantastic. If you can't and there's multiple targets, it makes it very difficult to angle correctly to all of them. So that's a flat-out mistake on my behalf. One thing I want to comment on, though, is with this 268, I fired a HE shell at him earlier, straight into the side. He was side-scraping up. Was hit and miss whether my AP shell would have done damage to him. Therefore, as I needed to get in cover quickly, I launched a HE shell and still did damage. There's 3 left, by the way, on the enemy team, and it's just me and my friendly E-100 left. We're both pretty much one shot to those very healthy looking grills. And there is an E50 left as well, but quick shell into the side, and we are now in a 2 versus 2 situation. Except you could argue we're potentially both one-shots. But the enemy are grills. It would be rude not to share some HE shells with them. They have the advantage at this point in time. They can just camo up, and which is why I'm trying to side scrape. I tried to get a HE shell straight into the front, and I completely fluffed that shot. On the other side of that, though, they bounced their shot off the side of my tank, thanks to the side scraping. I'm still trying to use the HE because the reality is, if it penetrates, it's going to do massive damage. Now, my team player, the 268, is telling me to use AP. However, even if I hit his track with the HE, I still did nearly the same amount of damage, and I made him use his repair kit. Granted, it wasn't intentional. I would have rathered penetrate, but it is what it is. And I just lost my friendly E-100. My idea here to come down was quickly see if I can get a shot into the side of one of the grills as they were concentrating on my team player. However, I left it too long, and I need to get back into cover, because if I go at this angle, I'm side-scraping from the left and the right. So in theory, I should be okay, depending what angle they come at. And there is one of them. We do take one from him, but we managed to get the HE in and finish him off. AP wouldn't have done that. And I don't think any other tier 10 would have had the potential to do that as reliably with HE. But the other grill's rushing in now because he knows I was on a reload. I've got my HE ready for him to come around the corner, but I hit the track again. But that allows me a little bit more time to get my weak points hidden behind this wall, which really leaves him with no alternative but to fire HE at me, which doesn't do enough damage, which means I can then finish him off. Now, there's a couple of arguments for that circumstance there. I got lucky with the HE not rolling high enough, which is potentially correct, but then you've got the back argument of that as well. If I just sat out in the open, he would have guaranteed a shot with the AP or the heat, and he needed to attempt to fire quickly because I wasn't too far away from a reload, and that would have been him guaranteed finished. Personally, the way I look at it is I did angle the tank correctly, which forced him to use HE, and he had to rush to use HE because otherwise I would have reloaded quickly, but I did get lucky with RNG, not rolling high enough on his HE shell. But that is it for this video. I literally just wanted to make a quick video about the E-100 and just make a video for the sake of making a video because it's been so long. With that in mind though, I have a lot of videos to catch up on, so I'm going to be trying to get as many as I can done over the next few weeks, so I'm fully up to date. Also, don't forget we have the 12-hour charity live stream tomorrow, the 25th of August. It's going to be starting now at 10 AM UK time. We have lots of guests. Bush is going to be the first guest. One and only is actually at Gamescom, but he's going to be joining us live from Gamescom. I'm going to have EU play in. We're going to have NA. We're going to have loads of fun. So, feel free to join us. Lots and lots of giveaways in that as well. I hope you've enjoyed this quick video though. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow live for 12 hours where I'm going to be hanging by the end of it. But yeah, see you all tomorrow guys. Bye bye.